Alhashiem, a graphic design senior, and this is my capstone project. So my capstone project explores the idea of branding a country, which has been quite popularized by the Middle East and Saudi's efforts for Vision 2030. And I wanted to make an instructional booklet that explores and breaks down culture, and then apply all the ideologies from that culture using something called the hybrid cultural model into a hypothetical city. So my qualitative research centers around 3 leading Saudi design agencies, and this is a breakdown of how they incorporated culture. And this is the mood board for the book design. I wanted quite a layered look, and this is my separation into those 2 books that are bounded together, and my project timeline. So going into milestone 2, the progress that I made, I figured out the book cover and the layout, as well as the booth material and the brand guidelines. So the first problem I faced was creating the brand itself. So I played around with different directions, but I wanted to incorporate that Middle Eastern essence into it. So I thought about the idea of embroidery and connecting the dots. And this is where I created the cover, which I stepped more into the illustration plus the embroidery and the concept of connecting the dots, and did the layout of the layered book design. The third problem was the layout, so I made a proper grid for the rest of the book so I could have a good standard when it comes to building that book. So this was the beginning of the design prototype. It cut into 2 books, How to Brand a Culture, which is breaking down culture, and then the application of the hybrid cultural model with 2 decorative pieces, which is the connecting the dots as well as the layer with embroidery. So, and this is the first application of the design prototype in the table of content, as well as the booth material. So the progress made, I finished the brand guideline, I finished the book spreads, and I finished the VR, since it was mandatory for us to include a VR element. The first problem was the VR. I decided to showcase in a full 360 view how all the cultural applications would look in one seaming view. This was the final design for the hybrid cultural model as a separation page, and I started with the separation pages to get a good look about everything, and then how the layering of the hybrid, not the hybrid cultural, the first book, how each chapter will explore the different concepts, and it explores them in a layered page view, as well as the page separators to add more visual intrigue. And then we go on to the booth design to reflect all those materials and the VR and how it looks. And then at the end, this is the brand book, the hybrid cultural model, the mission and the target audience, the keywords and the tone of voice. It was more authoritative. It gave you a good outlook from an academic point of view. These are the 2 books and the typefaces, and I use these colors throughout. I experimented also with social media and how that looked, since I was doing a book. Headings and font hierarchy was really important to understand throughout to create consistency, as well as experimentation when it came to printing and applying that design. There's 2 visual elements that are consistently used. One is the bitmap images used in the subsection separators, as well as the star symbol, which references back to the fake city logo and its elements. There's consistent spacing, and I made sure the layout rules are consistent throughout both Illustrator prints as well as the InDesign file. These are the layouts. These are the types of paper that were used in the book, as well as the brand applications throughout. This is the design of the fake city, the original versus the hybrid cultural model, as well as why these things are done and how they are done based on current references and other references. The original versus the hybrid cultural model, the post-evolution. And then we have the banner design, including the abstract and the methodology, considering my book is very heavily based on research, the book spreads, the deliverables, and the general showcasing of the fake city branding and interaction, and everything as a summary. Thank you.